That was the Beechwood Bison here. Next up is the Independence softball team, the home team here at our CVC Spring Sports West Media Day. Another new coach, although she isn't new to the league. She has been around the Independence program for many years. I don't want to say how many because then it'll give away her age and she might punch me or pick up that ball and throw it at me. But Mallory Kobak, glad to have you here. Glad to see that you stuck with the program and the program's in good hands. So go ahead and introduce the girls you brought with you and then just give us your elevator pitch. What can you expect or what can we expect out of your squad this season? Sure. So, flip your microphone on. There you go.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Right to my right is Sophie George. She's one of our senior captains. And then to her right is Ashleigh Porter, another one of our senior captains. As far as our elevator pitch, we're ready for this season to start already. I think that we have had very intense, focused practices. And our overall intent this year is just to do our job and try to win as many games as possible and try to get as far in the playoff run as possible.
I know you return the bulk of your team. Obviously, you bring Ashleigh back. A pitcher in softball is of utmost importance, and you have a really good one in her. Most of your infield's back, a couple new faces. Most of the outfield's back. Mm-hmm. And then I think the biggest change is you have I think a freshman catcher this year, and we'll talk about her shortly, but just knowing that you bring back the core of your team and starting with the pitching and the veterans that you have back, you've got to be pretty excited for this first season as a head coach.
Very excited, yes. It's a very stressful situation to be a first year head coach, but like you said, I've been here for a long time and I've had a very good example set by Gary Moore, who's still with us on the JV level. So it is stressful, but at the same time, having that large group of returning athletes has been a comfort for me. It's one of those things where we walk into practice and I don't have to worry about them. I can focus my attention on our freshman second baseman, our freshman catcher. So they have definitely made my life a lot easier than it would have if they're not here.
When you look at the transition from a new coach to another, or from one coach to another, a lot of times the players don't buy in. You don't have that issue because you've been here. How much has that helped not only you as a new head coach? It kind of takes away some of that burden, but it also helps the players just to know that they're not learning anything new. They're just going out and doing what they've always done.
Yeah, both of us can just pick up right where we left off. I've known these girls since they were 10 years old. Ashleigh, whenever she finally came into this community at 10 years old, I think in 2014, your first summer in the community, I had her on my little youth 10U team. So I've had both of them, and we've known each other for a long time, just like they've known Gary Moore for a long time. So they know that they are in good hands, and I also know that I'm in good hands as well. We preach the same mentality from when they first start softball to whenever they are in or at the high school level. So it makes our job easier, and they already know the expectations that I have set for them. And I also know that they have expectations set for me. And we have this mutual agreement that we're going to hold each other accountable and do whatever it takes because we know it's not just about us individually, but us together as a whole.
All right. Sophie, we'll start with you. Outfielder, center field?
Yep, center field.
All right, and so you're one of those returners. How has that transition gone from Coach Moore down to Coach Kobak now?
I mean, it's been great. I've been working with Mal, over the past few years, just infield, outfield, and last year we had a solid outfield with Keely Sears in left field and Kat Rieger in right field. So as far as the outfield goes, we're really excited, and we've kind of had the past year to really work well with each other, find what works for us. We have great communication, so we're excited and we're ready to go.
Yeah, you bring that whole group back, Keely in left and Kat in right. Kat was a freshman last year. Keely a sophomore last year? So,
freshman last year,
she was a freshman too? Okay.
Yep.
So now you guys, you're veterans in that outfield, and I know you guys played well together. Kat had a nice season, made a lot of big plays out there in right, and Keely, she's got a solid bat most of the time and came along pretty well in the outfield. But you as the leader in center field, you've got to patrol a lot of ground and kind of keep the other two outfielders in the game. How do you do that? You were a soccer captain, so I know you've got that leadership and you know what it takes, but how are you applying that to softball this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about communication, just talking well with Kat and Keely and even our middle infielders. Just we know how to back each other up, and I think we're good at communicating, knowing, if I could get there first, Kat or Keely are right behind me. just right there underneath, ready to catch the ball in case I drop it. So it's great. It's been working so far for us.
As an outfielder in softball, sometimes you can lull yourself to sleep a little bit unless you have especially when you have a pitcher like Ashleigh who mows them down, and you're not as busy as some other outfielders might be. How do you stay in the game?
I mean, just continuous talking, calling out every single play. That's been a big thing for us, just being loud and being able to say, hey, like Kat, take a step back, Keely, take a step back, and listening to the coaches and, listening to where they want us to go based on each hitter, and Ashleigh's putting the ball over the plate. And I think we're always moving around in the outfield, always moving our feet right before every pitch. So.
And talk about the depth in the outfield. We know who the starters are, who's going to compete for some time out there or step in when you guys are smashing some team by 12 runs in the fourth inning. Who's coming in to get some time?
So we have a couple of players, Cameron Mazzola and Ali Biondi and even Cookie Johnson, who will be stepping in.
Cookie?
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah, that's her nickname.
I love it.
They'll be stepping in, in case of injuries and whatnot. Hopefully that doesn't happen with injuries. But, yeah, they've been practicing with us, and they've been doing great as well. So excited for them, too.
All right. And just being your senior year, what kind of goals do you have for yourself and for your team?
Individually, I think that I just want to be a good leader, set a good example for the team, especially the younger players. We have 2 freshmen, Macy McGee at second base and Paige Preby at catcher. So just giving them the confidence and telling them, hey, like, you got this, you're here for a reason, you came to play, you're in the field for a reason, and just have that inner confidence. As far as the team goes, I think just bringing the team together and really, focusing on confidence too. Hey, like, whatever, you made a bad play, that's okay, pick yourself up. Have a short memory. That's what we've been focusing on in practice, and just picking yourself up, picking your teammates up.
All right. Ashleigh, on to you. Back in the circle, also one of the team's top hitters, probably the top hitter if I remember correctly, but I don't remember all the stats. But, good to see you back. I know you guys have so much potential this year. As a pitcher, you have to be really feeling pretty good knowing that almost your entire defense is back, the same girls that mashed the ball last year, most of them are back. How good does that make you feel when you step in the circle?
Yeah, it's definitely a really big confidence booster, knowing that I have everyone behind me who can always back me up in any situation. A lot of our girls are always giving out their all in every situation, so it's really nice. I can be confident and calm in the circle.
For you, you had a catcher for the last few years. She's now gone, graduated, so now you get a freshman. How's that battery coming along with you and Paige Preby?
It's definitely different. I mean, obviously I was with Kayla for 3 years, and I've known her a bit longer, but it's really nice having a fresh face there that I could always, get to be a new friend with, so we've really been working with her, and I'm excited for her.
I always love to watch Kayla play because a lot of catchers do what she did, but she just did it with so much grace, diving for balls, and she just was always dirty, and just, that's what you like to see out of a catcher. And is Paige the same style? Does she get after it the way Kayla did?
She's definitely an aggressive player. She's working harder to be towards that. I mean, obviously she's a freshman, so she's got a couple years ahead of her, but she's going to be there.
What is the biggest challenge for Paige as a freshman catcher? You don't see many freshmen that step into a starting role as a catcher, but obviously when you've got some veterans around her, that helps. But I also saw her in basketball, and she seems to be like a take charge kind of kid.
Yeah, definitely. She's very confident in herself, which is a very good thing. We have her back always, so we're just trying to get that into her so that she can be more relaxed back there and know that we have her in any situation.
Sophie kind of outlined the outfield for us. You can do the same for the infield. We already talked about catcher.
Yep.
We got Anna Weber back at first.
Yep.
Macy McGee, the freshman, at second. Natalie George moves from third to shortstop.
Yep.
And then Ashleigh Nero at third, correct?
Tiffany Nairo.
Tiffany. Gosh, sorry, all these names. But
Yeah.
sorry, Tiffany. Don't hit me. All right, go ahead. Give us a breakdown. How are they looking so far?
Obviously, they are starters, so they're probably super strong in their positions. But then we have a bunch of people that we could always opt out and switch out and to give in different situations. Like we also have Ali Biondi, who could come in and pitch, and Tiffany Nairo, obviously. So we'll switch out some people at third. And then depending on things, we had Natalie George catch for us a scrimmage, and that was a fun thing. And yeah, just versatility with all of our players is a big thing that we have, and it's really exciting to see.
Watching your rival, Cuyahoga Heights, last year make that run to the state championship game, you guys had to sit at home just kind of saying, that could be us. What would it take for you guys to make a similar run?
I think we just need to stay confident in ourselves and hone in our skills. We have been doing that for months now, and, just really be ready for all situations. Show us what we have instead of talking about what we have.
And then just last question for you, just individual goals and team goals. What are you looking for?
I'm looking forward to meeting all these new players, obviously, and keeping everyone a team and working hard towards, obviously, the end product, going farther than we did last year, which I think is very possible. And then as a team, really bringing everyone to show what they have in every situation. So, yeah.
All right. Coach, back to you. Typically when there's a coaching change at any level, it's usually because the last coach wasn't successful. And then you come in and you've got a couple years to really not worry about the stress and pressure of having to win. You're not in that situation. You're taking over an established program with a lot of returning starters. And not to say there's more pressure on you, but it's a good situation to have. How cool is that, just to know that you're coming in and you get to kind of just carry on the legacy instead of reestablishing it?
It's a good feeling, but like you said, it is stressful. Gary is a legend here in Independence, and I've been around him for the past 17 years doing the same thing. So for me, it's just about a switching of role rather than a change of my coaching style. Gary and I have always been, and his daughter Shannon and Coach Penna, we have been each other's yin to our yang. So we are, it's the same coaching group, just in different roles, and it's exciting. The mentality holds true. It's just like, we play hard, we're intense about it, we have fun, and we do our jobs. We are very focused, and I know that Gary has had to hold me back in the past, being his assistant and just saying, like, calm down, but like, now I'm the boss, so we could do what we want, essentially. So we're gonna pick up right where we left off. We're ready to go. Mentality has not changed. We're ready to play already. Unfortunately, the weather does not look good for us for our home opener this week, so it's a bad feeling, but then at the same time, it just gives us an extra week to work. So we're not going to sit down and waste our time. We're going to continue to use this time to prepare and do as best as we possibly can. It's all about execution for us. We put our players in stressful situations during games or during practices, so we're prepared in a game. So if we can execute those same situations in a game, we're going to be very successful this year.
I'm going to throw the Cuyahoga Heights question
Always,
at you,
Steve,
too.
always.
When you see that, and in high school sports, most kids dream of going to state, and for most kids, it's just not even, you don't even get close. You get to the district level and great season, maybe you get to regionals and you celebrate that, but to get to a state final, it's hard. But when you see teams that you compete with and you know these girls well, and it starts to become real, and how do you kind of get the girls to believe that, and hey, we could do this too?
I mean, we went 1-1 with them last year. We lost against them 2-1, and then we smoked them in the second game. I'm good friends with Kyle and Brandon both, and we're super happy for their success, but we also know that we're at the same level as them. But again, it's just about, we didn't make it that far or as far as we would want to last year because we didn't execute. And unfortunately, in the game of softball, if you have one bad game, like, that's it for you. And we kind of just ran into that one bad game, unfortunately. So we're ready. I mean, we have all the tools that it takes to be successful. But as far as Heights go, I have much admiration for the coaches, but like, at the same time, it's not about them. We're focused on our season, and that's it.
Outstanding. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I know you guys,
We are too.
the potential is there, so now it just comes down to, like you said, you have to execute.
Yes.
And I think you've got the squad to do it. So
I do too.
best of luck to you in your first year, and good luck, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for
Have
being
a good
here.
rest of your day. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks. That was the Independence Blue Devils softball team here at the 2022 CVC Spring Sports Media Day.